What's good, family? Podcast. Let's kick this conversation off right. Happy New Year and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to talk about what does it mean to be family. Here on the show, we're going to be adding in family more to our conversations, along with talking about self-improvement. And I feel we're at a good starting point to talk about what exactly is family. I mean, family is built into the name of the podcast. So we need to talk about what is family. What does it mean to be family? How do you define family? How do you look at family? Webster's dictionary defines family as the basic unit in societies traditionally consisting of two parents rearing their children. Also, any various social unit differing from but regarded as equivalent to the traditional family, a single parent family. Definition 2, a group of individuals living under one roof and usually under one head, household. Definition 3, a group of persons of common ancestry, clan. So Webster defines family as parents rearing their children, people living under the same roof. So what is a relative then? A relative is a person who is connected to another person by marriage or blood. So your relative is your cousins, your aunts, uncles, in-laws, and your family, per Webster, is people living under the same. So how does that apply to us? We look at more of the clan aspect. Yes, I did say clan. Not Ku Klux Klan, but clan. So when I hear clan, I think of one of my favorite shows on Netflix, The Last Kingdom, Uhtred, son of Uhtred, and the Viking clans. Each clan had their leader, but there was various families within the clan. So whether you call it clan or whether you call it family, we're looking at the clan aspect of things. But having the same common ancestry doesn't make you family. It doesn't solidify anything. All it means is that you are relatives, plain and simple. So what makes us family? What holds us together? What is the glue that brings different individuals together? That's a good question. What does it? What is it? How do you decide, hey, this is my family? I like to think, and it's my own personal opinion. I mean, if anybody has something different, please come on to the show and we could talk about it because I'm eager to hear what y'all have to say. But my answer would be bonds. It's the bonds that is the glue that holds a family or relatives together. Because being related doesn't mean we have anything in common. Being related doesn't mean we are going to be loving towards each other. It doesn't. It just means you're a relative. We happen to share the same blood, come from the same bloodline. But it's the bonds that are formed that makes us family. So what do I mean by bonds? Let's start with the most simplest of bonds. A parent and a child. What makes a parent a parent? What is it? Is it because you produced an offspring? Animals produce offsprings. That doesn't make them parents. People all over the world produce offsprings. That doesn't make them parents. So if having a child doesn't make you parent, what does? It's the bonds you form in rearing up your child that makes you a parent. Now, on paper, let's be factual. On paper, it says parent, biological mother, biological father. So you are a biological parent. Biologically, the child that in question came from you and her, or her and him, however you want to look at it. Biologically, But being a biological parent and a parent are two totally different things, regardless of how you look at it. You can biologically produce someone and not take care of them, and that doesn't make you their parent. Look at adoptions. What makes that adoptive child cling to their adoptive parents? It's a bond that's formed. There's something that's unseen that's formed between the two people, the child and the parent in question, or parents in question. I think back to my children when they were born, and instantaneously something went off in my head. Pow. And I was like, I would kill for this kid. I would die for this kid. I would do everything in my power to give this kid the best life possible. But it wasn't just that. It was, I wanted to spend time with this kid. I want to get to know this kid. I look forward to seeing what this kid grows up to be. And in turn, I took time out. I played with with my children. I laughed with them. I gave them a shoulder to cry on. We played video games. We bonded in different ways, to where the bond was that of, this is my mother, this is my father, and I'm their child. I'm related to them by blood. I'm connected to them by this parent-child bond that we have. And if that's not good enough for you, let's look at another example. Take a child who's a single child and they have cousins. And there's one cousin in particular that they just click with. And they're like inseparable. They went through everything together. They grew up together. They went to school together. They played on the same baseball team, football team, basketball team, soccer team. Hell, they played hockey together. They did everything together. So not only were they cousins, but they were best of friends. So they look at each other as brothers more so than cousins. Why is that? Because the bond that they share is one that transcends a cousin relationship. It feels more of like, this is my brother, even though we didn't come from the same mother and father. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of us out there who've had that same experience, be it a cousin or a friend, where it's like, this is my brother, this is my sister. We are two peas in a pod. We come from different backgrounds, but we're the same. Or we have common interests, or our goals align. You want to look at it, there's something that transcends not being blood related. And it's a bond. People in the military, people in the refineries, even people at jobs, they click with certain individuals and they form brotherhoods, sisterhoods. They have each other's back. They're willing to go the extra mile for that person. And it's not because they owe them something, but it's because that they're connected to them. And they would do anything to see that person win, and vice versa. That person would do anything to see them win. That's the unspoken bond. So when we look at what does it mean to be family, what it means to be family is to have that bond with one another, to have that unspoken thing of, I want you to win regardless of what we go through. I want you to be successful. I want to see you thrive. And vice versa. They want to see you thrive. It's not a one-sided thing. A lot of people get this idea that family is just a one-sided thing, and it's not. The way family works, in my eyes, the way family works, you have your grandparents. I was lucky enough, I grew up with two sets of grandparents, and I knew two of my great grandmothers. And what I learned from them is they teach wisdom, they teach love through their experiences, and me being their great grandson and their grandson. They teach things in a different light. They reinforce what my parents were teaching me and added a little bit extra. My parents were very hands-on. They were the type of parents who would go to bat. but also get on my butt when I was doing wrong. I have no complaints. I came out all right. But my grandparents took the time out to form that relationship with me. Now, I was closer to certain grandparents than the others, but I had a bond with all of them nonetheless. If my grandparents hadn't taken that time out to love me and bond with me, I don't think I could be saying the same thing. Again, it goes back to it's not a blood relationship thing. It's not a share the same DNA or a common ancestry thing. It's a bond. Family is not who you're related to. It's who's took the time to invest in you and you in them. I'll say that again. Family is not who you're related to. It's who took the time to invest in you and you in them. And by them investing in you and you investing in them, a bond is formed. Now, sometimes bonds can fade. As time progresses, people change, personalities change, mentalities change, and that bond may become weaker than what it was prior. But it doesn't mean the bond isn't there and there. It's still there. It just may not be as strong as it was. And how do you go about re-strengthening that bond? It goes back to spending time with that person and investing in them and them in you. Again, nobody wants to just pour themselves out. Just because we're related, I'm not going to just pour out myself to you. I'm not going to just give and receive nothing in return. No, it got to be a transactional thing where I'm giving and you're giving back. Now, again, we're not talking materialistic. Don't conflate the giving with something of a material nature. No, it could be giving of time, just a simple, hey, I was thinking about you. Hey, how are you doing? You know, reassuring a person that you care about them. It's not who you're related to by blood. It's who took the time to invest in you. I'm blessed. I have a best friend who's like a brother to me. Love the dude to death. He stays 38 steps away from me. And our bond was formed in high school. And he poured into me. And in return, I poured into him. And we continue to uplift each other. I have another best friend who I met as an adult. And he's older than me. And the conversations that we have is immaculate because it's two grown men who can speak very candidly to each other and uplift each other. Tell each other, hey, you know what, you were wrong in this instance, but not just pointing out that they were wrong, but giving them an insight on how to get it right the next time. Again, it's about taking time out to strengthen your bond. Having a bond is one thing, but you also got to strengthen it and you got to invest time in it and you got to nurture it. You got to water it. You got to feed it because if not, the bond will degrade. And then you become two individuals wondering how you got to this point. So I come back to my opener with the answer to the question, what does it mean to be family? It means to have a familial bond. It means to have something that the eye can't see, but the heart feels. It means to be bonded to another person or a group of people, not just through blood relationship, but through the heart. That's what it means to be family. I commend those who are foster parents. I commend those who adopt because that means you have a big heart and you're willing to look past whether this children, or even adult is related to you by DNA and you're able to connect to them through their heart. That's very commendable. Not a lot of people can do that. To those who are with their family and they've grown up and they see that, you know what, we've grown apart. Our bond is not what it used to be. Take time out to water it, nurture it, and start mending those bonds. It can be something as simple as, you know what, I was thinking about you today, and I just want you to know I'm here if you want to talk. And actually mean it. Don't just say I'm here if you want to talk and don't ever pick up your phone, but actually be there when that person calls, because that's how you start mending that bond. That's how you start strengthening it. A lot of people get to the point where they feel like they make their own family, and they make their own family off of people who they can depend on and people who they can lean on, and vice versa. They lean on them. So it takes time and it takes energy. But if you're willing to invest, you'll find your familial bonds becoming stronger and stronger. Some food for thought. Well, let me know what y'all think. If there's anybody out there who wants to add on or can dive deeper in, please hit me up in the comments or hit me up on the email, what's good family podcast at gmail.com. And we're back in session. See y'all again next week. Thank you for tuning in.